Hello everybody, welcome to a day of Cosmoteer. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at a few ships. Let me actually come over here and mute this for a moment because I'm live streaming right now and I know this might be duplicating itself. But basically I am on Twitch now and I'm just posting this out. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take this right here, this little ship file path. We're going to drag in this new ship that Josip just built. He posted it in the Discord channel today. Now this is a really neat ion ship. I really like it a lot. I like it so much that it can do so much more than I anticipated. So I'm going to save the ship design right here. I'm going to put it in, well, let's put in a new folder number 2 for right now. And what we're going to take here is we're going to load it in and we're going to test it out. So we're going to take the ship number 2 right here, which is 1,678 with 240 crew. And what I usually do is I look for a ship that costs very similar to the ships that I've built, and I like to test it out. So for those that may be following or being watching my YouTube channel, in here, right here, this ship is basically a cannon, 6-cannon ship with a whole bunch of added missiles. So if you've ever seen a show like Robotech or anything like that, they have the Alpha and the Veritech fighter, Alpha and Beta. So in the Robotech Master, not Robotech Master, Invid series. And so basically you have the front ship and the back ship, and I wanted to make it so they can detach and have a lot of missiles. But what this ship right here is doing, and you can showcase it, is I was looking for a ship that's how I test it out to see just how well it does. And he's got all these different point defenses here and point defenses here, and it's very well protected and has a lot of maneuverability and still also protected in the back. He has really good walkways design. The only thing I'm looking at a few things here and there is maybe the crew. Some of them might be sitting around, but based on what it's doing, like maybe have the red shirts, because I believe the red shirts are for point defense. If you lose point defenses, maybe have them do a second job. But you see right here, just wiped it out, no problem. Now the next test that I like to do too is I'm going to come over here. We're going to come over to built-in ships. We're going to go to Cabal Combat, and we're going to look at a Polaris. Now Polaris right here, Polaris doesn't cost as much, but a 1v1 Polaris, if you're not hitting it from the side, is a very deadly ship for its cost and everything. Because you see right here, tons of missiles on the side, which the point defenses are helping to take out of. You have lasers and an ion beam on this side. So you'll see that it does still hit through here a little bit. And then it has EMP missiles coming in from the side on this side, taking out anything they have on this side. So they have the shields. So it's a very well-diverse ship. And for this new ship that Josip built right here, Josip is somebody that's joined me on YouTube and then joined me on Discord, and we've been collaborating and just throwing back different ship sample. He built this one completely from the ground up by himself because he was trying to look at new designs, and you can just see right here it is doing amazing work, absolutely amazing work, just ripping apart and doing tons of damage. So I'm very, very happy and very excited for what this is doing. I like it a lot. I like it so much that I'm actually going to take this ship and I'm probably going to put it in my gameplay, which if other people have been following on YouTube, which is No Pause Cosmoteer Grand Admiral Engage, is basically where I play the game and I never pause during combat, or I try never to pause. I don't think I've ever paused yet through the series. And throughout the entire series from start to finish, episode 1 all the way to where we're at, I don't pause the game at all and just do the battle. You can see right here, it takes out a Polaris. Now, if you have a ship, a single ship, that can tank and take on a Polaris 1v1 in the cost range of under 2 million, then you probably have a pretty decent ship. Because a lot of ships that I've built can't tank and take on a 1v1 head 1v1 versus a Polaris, just the ships that I've built. So I really, really like how this is designed. Now, the next test that I want to do here is we want to see about optimization. So optimization is see if we can look at it, because I'm literally looking at this ship for the very first time, and we're looking at it together here live on Twitch, which I'm also going to push this out to YouTube as well. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take this ship right here and we're going to pit it against each other. Really nicely designed. And what we're going to be looking at here specifically, here on the right, because the left always tends to usually do better, this one's going to get destroyed normally. Just how the game works. I don't know why the mechanics, why the right side doesn't do as good as the left side. But what we're looking at here is we're looking at crew placement and how they're utilized. So if we come over here and check out how these people are designed, I can see the red shirts actually don't have any job priorities, which is nice. And then they have these people. Why are these people down here at the bottom of the ship supporting people on the top? Okay, so they're engine rooms. So those are operators. So that makes sense. Operators on that side of the ship. Operators and operators on that side of the ship. The front of the ship. So who's designed for shields? Maybe the power distributors? We're going to double check the edit roles. We're going to check to see who's designed for shields. So 777. What other power? Are there any power? There are power distributors back here. So he has power distributors dedicated for the back for the ion beams. But I would probably split out these roles because okay, I see people from the front of the ship are going to the back of the ship. And then these guys are designated just for that. Okay, so if you lose point defenses, who's going to be dedicated for shields if need be? I guess it's really power distributors there. You have people ion over here supporting that. These people are supporting that. Okay, let's check power. Power has no dedication. So people could come from the front of the ship to the back of the ship, but that's still okay. I think I like not dedicating any of that. And I like how he doesn't have everything, because if you've watched some of my previous discussions or some of our previous videos on YouTube, we just really hit on the fact that designating people, if you lose sections of your ship, such as shields and stuff like this, then you have nobody that's, once they're done with that job, then they don't do anything else. And they're almost stalemating against each other because there's just so many shields. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 large shields on this side and 4 large shields on this side, plus his little mini shields to help protect just in case any of this falls down. Which now, the next challenge would be, can he face another ship? Which I actually do want to face it versus each other. I would need to look at it more for optimization, but I want to see it get fully damaged to actually get optimization. So what we're going to do is we're going to take away this ship. And let's go look for a different ship. Let's go look for a built-in ship. Let's look at... what am I looking for? Pretty sure it's this one. Okay, now this one's under 2 million, but this one does stand a huge advantage over it. It's got these 2 railguns in the back with the ions, with EMPs launching from the back. So we'll see how this does. Now he's got a ton of coverage for point defenses on the side. Let's not worry about it, but I almost feel like he does have more ion beams just because of how this is designed. And you're gonna watch how this does. Honestly, I think just because the amount of thick armor in the front and the huge focus on ion plus the railguns in the back. This ship right here, the Sol Renatus from Cabal, it does such good. It's a ship that I've always wanted to edit and change. I just didn't know how to change it to make it the way that I want. It doesn't move very fast, but it's very tanky and very deadly. Watch this ship. As you see right here, he's taking out all of these shields with all the ion, and then he has the penetrating power with the railguns in the back, literally just shooting right through. When I first engaged this ship back when I was first starting playing Cosmoteer, I was so impressed with it, and I was just like, man, I wish I could design and edit it. But I'm no pro when it comes to ion ships, so right now we're messing with it in Discord, collaborating and working together. Mainly Hosup and let me go get his name real quick. Unexcited. Unexcited is also working on ion ship too. He brought it over, but his design, he wanted to make sure the boosters were in the middle. I was starting to fiddle with it a little bit, but then I jumped away from the project. Plus I got busy with work. But now that I have some time, plus I've also been mainly recording Project Zomboid. So for those that may be watching more recently, I know some people may not want to watch Project Zomboid, and they wanted me to just keep doing Cosmoteer maybe. And nobody really voiced their opinion in the comments. So I just started switching to another game for my own enjoyment and for my own excitement. Plus I was, wanted to switch it up a little bit and wanted to play another game that I enjoyed a lot and showcase it. But right now, I think we'll do every other day on YouTube. at least at minimum, get a Cosmoteer video in, get a Project Zomboid video in. But the pure fact that this one's tank right there, okay, got through. See how the railguns penetrated through? This is a ship that I would really like. And so that's what I was trying to think of when Holtzup made his ship right here. We'll just re-bring him back in. When he made this ship right here, I was thinking, what if he could put 2 railguns in the back right here? And I'm sure he'll watch this video eventually. We'll put 2 railguns right here that literally can shoot through. Maybe down the middle-ish, because you don't need that one. This just one right here in the middle. Have 2 on the side. Maybe just have 1 railgun that literally can do that penetrating power. You see how this is doing it? If you could just change that and add one or 2 railguns to shoot down. Because combined with ion beams, now the EMP is nice, but once you run out of EMP missiles, it no longer could do what you would want it to do. And maybe utilizing some disruptors somewhere. I mean, just even having 2 disruptors, maybe having this shield move 1 to the right and having 1 disruptor right here and here, shooting down the line, could help change it to get rid of a lot of these shields. In fact, you know what, that is a change that I actually do want to make to this. So let's look at this real quick. So there's no power ticket. I want to check to make sure there's no people utilized here, which there's not. Let's change that. So let's restart the battle here. We'll pause the game. And let's come over here and let's do some engineering. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to move this 1 to the right and put a disruptor right there. Because this armor right here is not... But if they get this close, this armor is just going to be pointless at that point. So let's come over here. Let's take this right here and let's move this 1 out. And let's get some disruptors and let's put disruptors right there. And that will increase at least its offensive ability just a little bit. And they should... I'm not even sure they can shoot down that angle. So this might need to change a little bit too. Let's test that real quick. And let's save this as version 2. And let's come over here and look at Tilney Shipyard. We'll go to new 2. And we're going to name this as a 0.1. I'm messing now. Messing with it. Okay, now we're come over here. Let's remove this one and let's come over to 0.1. Now we're messing a little bit. So we've just moved the shield. And I can see right here we have no operators, nobody for disruptors. So let's figure out, are all operators? Okay, all operators are in. And power distributors are there. For now, let's just edit this just temporarily. He has nobody operating. We'll just do that for right this second. We'll figure it out a little bit later so that we have some operators. I just want to see if they'll shoot down. So they are. See how they're shooting down? It gives it just that a little bit extra. We may need to change this just a little bit wider just to increase its ability. Now you see right here, those, it's going to penetrate right through because we have nobody dedicated to large shields. You see it penetrated right on through. But that's okay. We need to mess with this a little bit. Now I know the cost is way more, but even the crew is actually even less. And it's such a nicely designed ship. I don't even know what to say about it. There's so many good things about it, but it's just slow. So if you're going to play gameplay, it doesn't have what you need. Alright, so we have people dedicated to that. What I want to do here, because I don't want to take away from there, is we need to create a duplicate row here. And we need to call these guys shields. Front shield. I'm just going to call them front shields right now. We'll give them a different color too. Just so we know that they're different. And these guys right here, what we're going to do is we're just going to change their priority for the shields and just go to 1 up. And then also because we want the disruptors as well, so we'll change this just to that as well. There we go. Now we'll take front shields, because I know they were running to the back, and we're going to literally say, you guys are the front shield guys. Maybe that's team 2. Okay. Let's test this out. Let's go to version 2. Let's test this out. Now it's going to take a lot of edits and a lot of changes for a ship that costs this much less to face this ship right here with just so much more ion beams and the railguns and the EMP. We'll see how this does. Maybe it'll do better now that we have shields in the front. But you see right here, he locks in. If he locks in the front, and you see how those railguns, literally, they do large penetrating damage. Now the EMPs are not going to hit because he's got a good amount of point defenses. I love the amount of point defenses right there. So it basically nullifies that. But you see right here, you rip through that, and now we're on shields. So what we're counting on now is, will the crew that we have here that's dedicated just for shields, will it be enough now? Because we've already lost one side. We're looking for tanking ability here. And we want to also make sure that these ions, for whatever reason, you see this right here? Did we lose an ion? Why are these back ones not going? Is it because of that? Hold on. Let's check this right here. We're gonna hold the control key, look at this. Do they currently have a target? What if I were to cancel weapons? Cancel. Let's test this now. Will they shoot now? It's not shooting in full. We're gonna have to relook at that. I'm wondering if the disruptors right there are causing it to not do what I want it to do. Okay, so those ones are aiming. Okay, so these ones right here, I want to take this right here and where are these targeting to? These ones are targeting to where? They're cross beaming to. Like, I really like how he has it designed, but can I point you down the middle? I cannot. What are they targeting? Just for now. I don't like that, but let's... There we go. Let's point them back into each other. Because I want to see the back. Okay, there we go. Now the back's doing what it's supposed to be doing. I got a single beam going out. Okay, now at least the whole back of the ship, front of the ship's doing what it's supposed to do. Get some disruptors firing down too. It's taking me these shields to see, but it's not enough. Not enough. So he's taking out all the shields. And he's gonna get through, maybe? We'll see. Watch how these walkways. There's no walkways right here. Like, I would move this one right here and add walkways. Cause you see right here, this is slowing them down. Not getting through, not getting through. At least all ions are still firing. We have some people right here sitting. I don't know what these guys are doing back here. What are those blue guys doing? And these guys right here, you see these blue guys? They're not doing anything either, as they're not dedicated. They are taking away, I mean, for missiles to missiles, they do good. But I'm more concerned about these blue guys right here. 246. There's 246 blue guys in the back. I don't know what they're doing. We're watching to see. They're almost... If they stalemate, that'd be interesting. Why is the railgun not firing anymore? I guess it got past it. It literally tanked enough so the railguns are not constantly firing anymore. Well, you see how with the shields, now that we have shield 2 group, we're now able to tank all this, to tank this much ions. That makes a big difference. And we're still on the back of the ship. See how nobody's from the front of the ship and the back of the ship? Not that big of a difference. I do want to fix this area right here. Like, even if we were to move this crew right here down to here, that'd be better than gumming this up. Because right here, this is needed just for just a tiny bit more extra. Give a walkway. I don't know why this one right here. I would probably change just that one walkway. We're looking at minor changes now. You already designed a very nice ship. I like it a lot. Okay, it's tanking still. We're just gonna let it go. See what it's doing. We're just gonna build while it's doing its thing. Okay, so this right here, I was thinking of moving here, and this right here is what? Frontal shields. Okay, so that's not a big deal to move this. Maybe here, and or change this group to still broke through. It's good to know. Yeah, still broke through. Such a nicely powerful ship. Is that what that's what that is? All right, take this one right here. Let me make sure that that's like that. Okay, let's take this one right here, and we want to move it. Move it. Yeah, 2 capacitors. Let's move this one. Move this one out of the way here, like that. And then the team right there. These can be and change. Make it so. We'll change this to red team. We'll change frontal shields. I'm thinking right here. That goes in and in. I want to change this one right here to a walkway. Alright, now we got walkways there. Let's change this. So people come down this way. Even if we had like a full circle. Because people still don't mind that like that. Should go to the blueprints. It's sideways like that. Makes it to one says over here. This one goes sideways like that. And then they go down, up. So come back down. I almost don't really want that one like this. Kind of want it to be little like that. I want it to be like this. Let's crossway and then come back down and be like this. And that would be like that. Get rid of just this one right there, because there'll be a lot of traffic there. And this should be down. Okay. Now if they come out, this should be to the right, and this one should be to the left. No. Up, down. That won't work that way. Get that one. Okay, so come out, go down, up. So it goes there. This comes back down like this. Take in like that. This is no good for... We gotta reverse these arrows. I gotta get rid of that one. This should be down. Everything come back and they can circle back around, circle like this. Okay. That should speed that area up just a little bit. Now, I know he has the corner doors there and he has this one right there. But I think they should just add one more corner door right there. Get in and out, in and out, in and out. There's this like that. Okay. That should fix that part. Now what I really wanted to fix here too is how do I make it so these are not stuck by that? So could I move this back one down? That's a question. Does that work? And will they still shoot out? I don't know if they'll shoot through that angle, but we'll find out here. Okay, let's go to version 3. Check this out. Version 3. Disruptors are not firing. disruptors are not firing. But I like its coverage. So the disruptors there may not be a good idea. Probably... what if we move these one... We gotta figure out how you... Use this beam right here and this beam. Okay, those beams are the ones that are targeting that. I like the coverage. I really do. Alright, we're gonna check this right here. See how they go in and in and out? In and out, okay. Sure, come back out. Resupport that. Alright. These disruptors are not doing what I want them to do. So if we were to move, because this one's the one this one's targeting those ones. If we were to move, if we were to do that, right? Out, in. And then this has to go one more forward. And then make that so, and then I'm ruining it, honestly. I feel like I'm ruining it. Let's say hold the control key down. We're gonna select this. Okay, so these guys right here should be... This is reversed really quick. How does he have this one? Is this one targeting anything? Okay, he has it targeting that. So we literally only have one beam. Not as wide. Nope. Huh. Those rail guns. Those rail guns. We went back a version, we just reloaded. If only I can get the disruptors to actually... I don't know. Because we gotta get rid of the shields. That's the biggest... I have no way to put... If I were to move... Or if we were to put 3 disruptors right there. Let's do that. Okay, let's change this. Come over here. We're gonna delete that. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna duplicate this. We have 3 of those at least. Now I have those mini shields right here. Alright. I want to back that guy up. And then I want to... We'll reload him. Let's go over here. Let's do that real quick. Come over here. Okay, so get rid of that. We have this right here like that. Those guys will then repopulate here. I need to retarget these. Aim ion prism. Oh, I can aim it anywhere I want. That's... Okay. Save ship design. 4? Let's get that soul rivetus back in there. Soul Renatus. Oh, I need to get number 4 back in there. Number 4. There you go. Why do I have this strange feeling like they're too far back? Because they are. And we can still shoot right down there. And this can go. We need number 4. We're messing, we're messing. Alright. Just realized something. What are the job priorities? 8-8. 8-8, okay. If we can aim down the path. Definitely have 6 disruptors now. But they're going back and forth like this. I want you to literally aim down and get rid of the shields. Let's check out what this is doing. Okay, so they go. I like how the walkways are designed there. In and out. As needed. It's not a fair assessment versus those two. The real assessment will be do here. Let's take the original. How does the original do versus the new version? Did I mess it up or did I make it better? Find out here. Because I like his wider angle there. Versus the original versus this one. Let's speed the game up a little bit. Tanking like forever. I don't think the disruptors are doing much yet until they get past all the armor. Okay, once you get past the armor, the disruptors can totally do what it's supposed to do. So, speed the game back down. What's another test we can do with disruptors that have shields? What's something that has a lot of shields? Let's come over here to built-in ships. I think I know there's one. I know the cost is way less. I want to face 2 EOSs versus. Now you see it has some shields right there. Here's no ion. Now this EOS is a ramming ship. And you see how it's not shooting because it's trying to aim at. I don't know what it's trying to aim at. It's trying to aim at this right here. I like the extra protection right there. We discussed that in previous videos, adding just a tiny bit of armor. Making it so that they're aiming at this. Yeah, didn't even stand a chance. But what does 2 EOSs do? Now we're going to test its flanking ability. So we have 2 ramming ships now. You see how it comes in the side? Just because he came in on the side right there, he's going to rip through on the side right here. Fronto battle, amazing. But when you get 2 ships, it's only 1 million each, and you can flank from the sides like this. Look how you just... This is why 2 ships are better than 1. Okay, so we know that that does that. Alright, so let's come back to my ships. And let's test something else here. Let's test my original 2 cannon. Now for those that are just joining and maybe never seen this before, I have a bunch of these ships right here that are designed. No, I think 2 is not going to be enough. I think you need at least 3. So we'll do... Well, we'll do 2 first. Let's do 2. 2 of these cannon ships versus this. Let's see what happens. Now normally these ships right here, these are my 2 cannon ships. They got a bunch of lasers. They're a good mix and match. I believe if they can get here and they can flank from the side, they'll stand a chance. Maybe. But he's got a lot of point defenses, which is really great against all these projectiles. So just watch a little bit so we can see them all. And you see right here flanking from the side. Once it gets flanked from the side, if it can stay here. Now it's got lots of maneuverability. I love the engines on this ship. Forcing my ships to fly in weird angles. But you see right here, it hasn't destroyed this ship yet. Now I know I don't have that huge wide because they've changed that. But the 2 cannons, the way this 2 cannon ship's designed is purposely for these 2 cannons. These are usually the last things that die on the ship. Not always, but usually. One facing front to front. We've now done good damage from the side. And you can see right here, these ships, we're only at 1 million. We're at 1 million cost. And way, I don't know if it's way less crew. 75, 75, 100, 150-ish. Yeah, 150-ish crew. So if I put in a 3rd one, the crew would be more. But when you're taking ships that see how they can flank, if you're playing in-game, I haven't lost any ships yet. And you can take on so much bigger ships, and that's why I have these smaller ships to purposely design for when I'm playing my gameplay. They're easy to be replaced. Crew's easy to be replaced. The only thing that's the biggest concern is always sulfur. When I'm playing the in-game, trying to mine sulfur from asteroids and everything like that is always a huge concern and a big problem. So that's something to consider and think about. But you can see 2 of these ships will take on this newest design. Now that's not fair because I've made changes to it, so we'll come over here and we'll switch it back to the original design here real quick. I'm pretty sure the original design's not going to be able to do versus 2 of these. But on head-to-head, I love the front arm. I love ship-to-ship. It's designed very nicely. But maybe it does because it has a wider arc. Look at that. Maybe it is. So when you don't have it all pointed to 1, the damage done is so much better. So I ruined it by messing up to only having 1 beam. So literally having 3 beams that can do so much more. Look at it, he just cut this ship in half. Yeah, my messing messed it up. Which is good to know. I don't know ion beam ships that well, but now learning that 3 beams are better than just 1 beam. Look at that. He literally wiped out half the ship. Yeah, 3 beams are better than 1. What if you had 4 beams? What if you were to take this right here, and instead of pointing it back into itself, what if you were to aim them out, right? Because he has them crisscrossing like that. I'm interested now. Where is it targeting? How does he have it targeting? What if I were to take this one right here? Okay, I know this one's targeting there, and this one is... How is it targeting? Okay, he has a target all the way. Okay, I see the target. It's right there. So if we were to aim it out there too, right? Just enough. So if I were to aim this one out, can I select more than one? Shift control? I can, okay. So those two are targeting. I'm very interested in how this does. I'm going to restart this. I'm learning new things about ion ships, I really am. Alright, so take this ship and this. Control shift. Okay, so he has it targeting right there. So if I were to take aim ion prism, and if I were to aim, well, let me aim both of them at the same spot. Maybe. Did it let me? Did I just ruin it? I probably ruined it. Let's find out. It's gonna turn. Why isn't this one shooting at that? Because I ruined it. That's why. You know what? Here. Let's do this. So I know where that one's aiming. I'm gonna aim just this one right here. This one's gonna cross just out of it. Just like that. I'm gonna aim this one right here. Just outside of it. Just like that. Just wanna see what this does. It's only one beam to one beam, but for them to be aiming, or are they shooting at? They're shooting at that one. Just trying to get it outside of it. No, there's still only three, but it's aiming out. Still only three beams going out. But instead of all down the center, I think it's doing more. And the nice thing is if you did lose these two are already ready facing outwards to shoot out. I wonder if this were to go one more, and then you would have 4 beams. Right? Look at that. Just blowing away my other ships. Let's do that. If I take this, let's face them out the way there so they just turn outwards. And then do that. Then take this right here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I want to take control key. So control key and aim ion beam at that one. Aim ion beam at this one. There we go. I want to see. Save shift design. Let's go to 05. Zero five. Why are those? Oh, I need to spin those around. Oh. I moved them, but I didn't retarget them. You need to be... Where's the middle beam? I'm gonna say this is the middle beam. Aim at the same... Down the middle beam. Will they work? I don't feel like they're shooting. Positive. Right down the middle. Right down the middle. Okay. There we go. Now I know it's a huge spread, but I want to see... messing it up. That's what I'm doing. I'm messing it up. Okay, these need to re-aim. Let's take both of them actually. Control Shift. How far out do I need to be so that they are targeting? What needs to be targeted? Maybe because I moved them. To make sure that they actually can shoot out this. Yeah, move them so they're not in the same. So if they go right, look in the red line. That's about as far as I can go. Very interesting spread. Definitely fans out more. I'm gonna save it. Let's save this. Let's save it. Save it over. Oh no. I want to see a fresh start of this. Okay. Now that they're all targeting where they're supposed to target. It fans out. Doing what they're... So this is how I play it, is I usually would flank like this. Because they're designed to do that. And then if he doesn't move back fast enough. But this fanning ability really does... Interesting. Turn. It's very interesting. Literally takes out ships. If it just had like one other. Has anybody ever thought of putting ions and cannons? What if you put cannons right here? And ions and cannons? At least just 2 cannons. 2 extra cannons to do just that much more penetrating. So instead of having the rail guns, you have 2 cannons. Huh? What would that do? It seems like an interesting concept, honestly. I like the idea. I like the idea. Let's come back over here. Let's take the original. See if I messed it up. This is a fanning ability now. Where there's just 3 beams compared to, and you see it's such a much wider arc. But the nice thing about the wider arc, well, I guess we'll compare it. This one's more focused. And this one's more wide arc. And you see the wide arc is literally chipping away at all the armor. With this, we'll see how the focus beam. Now the focus beam is nice, but if you're trying to do massive amounts of damage, see how we're taking out damage from both sides? And this one's gonna focus down the shields, which is nice. But you see how I didn't do that much damage? Right here, I'm constantly chipping away at all different angles and sides. I have no idea. Which one do you have your money on? I think I have my money on the fan one, honestly. See how the focus one, it's doing good focus damage, but look at this. The fan one is causing the internals of the ship and everything else. We are making it through faster. And eventually it's going to, see how it's chipping away? Take away all the weaknesses. Now will it break through? I don't think we have any disruptors to get rid of these shields. It doesn't have enough damage for that. But if it can take away this right here and take away that, it eventually can get rid of their engines and cut them off. Alright, speed this game up. We now know what they're doing. This one will eventually break through like it's doing now. And you see the fan? Yeah, it's doing exactly like I thought. And he did the same. Oh, okay. Focus on one. I think they have their advantages and disadvantages. It's very interesting. Oh, Joseph just messaged me. He said he was just watching my stream right now and he saw a misplaced crew. So, I'm sure he'll give me a new version. I'm just messing. I'm totally messing with it right now. Just playing around with it. So, thank you for joining me, Joseph. Thank you for watching it. Alright, let's move on to maybe the next. Let's move on to another design. So this one is, and this one's not even close to finish. I know he's still messing with it. So this next design right here, his main purpose was to have this very low cost ship and the booster placement in the middle. So I really started messing with it, and I know he wasn't happy with my messing with it, but what I was really just trying to focus on was damage to see if I could add more ions, because I really like the split concept. So I just want to showcase this one right here. I took it in. I think this is here. This is the original. And then I just started messing and messing and messing and messing. And I went all the way up to. And I know he didn't like what I did, but I'm just gonna showcase it here just so there's understanding. I didn't like how I moved the boosters right here, because the boosters, the whole purpose was to stick the boosters in the middle so they're heavily protected. I was just wanting to mess with the ion beams for this cross beam section, and then I changed in these heavy right here. So I just wanted to have more shields. But I had liked this cross. So you have 2 different sides of the ship and they come in. I just liked that idea, and I just started playing with it a little bit, because the idea comes from a Vega. Let me come over here. It's not obviously in the same design. He built it that way, and I was just like, oh, really wanted to play with it. So I think it comes over here from Cabell Combat Vega. And this right here, this is my only real experience with Ion, which is not even that big, but lasers and power. Because if you're trying to do something without having everything on it, here's the original Vega, which is painted nice. It's the in-game ship. It's really pretty. And I took in this ship right here, and I started building upon it. And I built this one right here. So I made significant changes. See how they only have this many boosters on it? I moved the boosters around some. I put more boosters, and I added armor on the sides, making it more maneuverable. But I really like this split cross right here. So the concept was like, okay, and I just wanted to add a few more lasers on Unexcited Ship. I met him on YouTube. But you can see right here with maneuverability and just the way it's designed, this ship that I've modified from the Vega, the original Vega, can win now because of maneuverability. It may not win all the time, but it does win a lot versus the original. Just because of maneuverability, placement of everything, and armor. I got rid of the back too because there was no back. You see these EMP. Didn't really need those EMP. And I just wanted a pure energy ship to be able to face and fight off versus each other. So that was the concept, or at least the idea. When I first saw Unexcited Ships, I was like, oh, this is the same idea. We're having two sides of the ship, but having the cross section. So that's where. Let's go over here and take the modified one. My ships. New 2. We'll take this one. Again, I know he doesn't like the boosters in the back, but I was just fiddling. It's not even close to done. I just wanted to fiddle with ion beams and how many ion beams it would take to energize, to make it so that they could do just two sides of the ship. But it's not protected well. The concept, I was just like, oh, this is a cool concept. I want to play around with it and fool around with it. Where you see right here, the Vega is just, it's a massive, just this, it looks like this mouth and a tongue lashing out. It's just really, it's really neat. I liked it for its cost and its gameplay, and I wanted to showcase and put it in. But I really like Wholesome Ship. This ship right here, I really like it. I'm going to use it. I think this is a good energy ship. In fact, I don't even think I faced them versus each other. Does this ship versus a built-in ship versus combat versus a Vega, how does it do? That's a good test. The original design. This original design versus a Vega. How will it do? You can see the Vega just has so many lasers. And he has the disruptor. This is the 3 disruptor idea, or the concept. It's like the disruptors are good versus shields, but see, he has so much armor in the front. So until you get past his armor, see, I like his ship. 1v1. This is a tanky ship. In fact, the only thing I would change in my gameplay is because it's on Grand Admiral. And Grand Admiral, they do 40% more damage. I do 30% less. Is maybe more side armor is needed. I'd have to test it in gameplay and find out, but I'd have to modify it. But if it can tank a Vega, all my other ships can come around and flank and do what they need to do. So if you're interested in the gameplay, I have it on YouTube. You can watch on YouTube all the episodes. I think I'm on episode 33 already. I need to film and make another episode 34, which I will host here on Twitch. I'm just gonna stream them live and then move them over to YouTube after. So for those that want to see anything that I gameplay live, I'm just gonna post it here on Twitch and go from it. I still don't know if I figured out the chat system. I have this stream chat. Nobody's ever mentioned anything yet. I'm not sure if anybody's even watching, but that's okay. I'm still new. I only just started joining yesterday. Huh, that's an interesting concept. Let me come over here. Let me just check the chat here real quick. What does it say? Unnecessary crew and changing a little. Oh, he already posted a new ship in Discord. Let's take this ship already. Let's come over here. Let's save this ship. Let's put it here. Let's go to my download folder. Sorry, I know I have it paused. Download folder. Download folder. Right here. Now we have a second one. Now he said he fixed it. Let's go see what he fixed. This is how we collaborate. Discord. I don't really know what he fixed. I'll have to look at it. Let's go over here. New number 2. I'll just call it V2. Still rip that Vega apart. Alright. Let's take V2 on the left. Wherever it is. V2. First the original. V2 even has a little bit less crew. 4 less crew. Maybe he fixed the crew in the back. Yeah, he did. Right here. Remember I was saying those people in the back doing nothing? So he probably fixed that. Yeah, see right here, 1, 2, 3, these 6 people right here doing nothing. That's what he fixed. At least part of it. I'm sure he fixed other things too. So I like it. I like it. Oh, he switched up. He switched the point defenses to be offensive. That's what he was messaging. He was messaging in Discord. He switched it up, which the concept is. Concept's interesting. Maybe it's effective actually. It's definitely took out his full capability here on one side, but it's not effective against shields. So if you're going to do point defenses, I would suggest adding probably at least a disruptor, 1 or 2, because the point defenses versus shields, as you can see right here, they do pretty good still actually. Huh. He's testing against mini lasers. So basically they're like mini lasers. Extra. Almost like a small laser. So each one's almost like a small laser. Huh. I'm liking it. Yeah. It's adding this whole other wide arc of I like version 2 more than version 1 now already. Offensively. I just need to check. We changed it to both. Okay, so it's attack and defense, so be important for when it does. This one's right here. Okay, so he did add disruptors on the back. It's just having trouble with power. See right here? All these are powered good, but these one right here, they're a little too far away from the power plant. So the disruptor's not firing. So I was thinking instead of disruptor there, you put the disruptor here next to the shield. Just like his other design. I'm curious actually. Way to do this, like this. I'm gonna do that. Check to see if there's dedications. There are not. So, just curious. Somebody manning it. They have manning. Is it an operator? Maybe there's no operators for it. Who's manning those? An operator? It is an operator. Okay, so there's no operator for that. Maybe we need 2 more operators, huh? Thinking, yeah, if you move that there, and if you just change this out, and switch this to a, because it's closer and I get, but I like how having disruptors on both ends. All it really needs is... just need 2 more operators. 2 more operators. Just put it somewhere. You don't even need this extra walls. My own personal opinion. And change that to operators. Because by the time they get there, it's gonna be over. Operator. Okay. Save ship design. 0.1. Curious. Version 2, 0.1. Where is that? Version 2, 0.1. We're back up to the 40 crew. 140, I mean. 240. So now we have disruptors on both sides. Will it do what I think it's gonna do? It looks really neat. Just watching it. Okay, I lost the disruptor there. This disruptor has no power. Makes me wonder. You should probably be dedicated to that. Or not. Just leave it. Disruptors are just extra. This one doesn't have disruptors right there, and this one does. We're just checking to see if these get destroyed or what. They're not powered on long enough. So if we just come over here and I would just change this. This is a 7? Okay, it's the same. 7, 7, 7, 7. Don't need to change that up. It's definitely a fiddle session. It seems... I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. Wait, what? How much does it cost? 2? Because he has 2 on both sides. Commands. Now I have these operators sitting here, so actually what I'm going to do here is we're going to change one of them. Power distributor. That way the operator will go do what they need to do. Unless they can't get to the other side of the ship. Not easily. There's a hatch here. And a hatch there. But there's no way to the bottom of it. Okay, so we have hatches in the back. Do you have any hatches in the front of the ship? I see hatch in the back, hatch in the back. Okay, right here. Okay, there's the axis to the back and the front. To the ion. So 2 more disruptors on the right hand side, 1 against that one. So here's the new test. Reset and swap. So version 1, the one that I just added 2 disruptors to. Now I want to change one of these to be a power distributor. Resave that. Just because I don't want them to be. Now restart that. Now I should have the perfect amount of... No, I don't have the operators. What? Power distributor? I changed them both. I only want 1. 1 to be operator, 1 to be power distributor. Save this. Now they should all be banned. There we go. That one's missing. What? Maybe it needs double operators. So I need to add one more something. Oh, we have another operator. Huh. One more something where? Requires one crew, one member. I mean, he literally has it using up the entire command points except for 2 points. So I could add one more 2 point. One more disruptor. It just look funny. To add it where though? Let me get some water. Let me step up here for a little bit, get some water. Thinking about it here. Let me come up here to the chat. So he's got small lasers. Either way, I like it. I like his design. Just extra 2 disruptors. Because this one's more protected, but it's not powered. It's not on enough to help as much as I would like it to help. I was thinking actually if you take all these and you move them all down, you put both disruptors right here and then add dedication to it. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, sorry for just a long wait and watching. So I'm thinking move the disruptor up here and move everything down. So we'll use the copy paste feature. Let's take all this. Take all. There's gotta be an easier way to select diagonal like this. Undo this one and select that. Don't tell me I gotta click one at a time. There's gotta be a better way to do that. Okay, take all that. Do this. And do a Control cut. Put that down. Now undo this and put this right there. That's what I was thinking. Right? And then come over here and make sure that those operators are on both sides. So they are. And then we'll check reroll placements. So this is right. It's 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. And let's save this. It's version 2. 2. 2 of 2. 2 of 2. 2 of 2. 2 of 2. There, now the disruptors are heavily protected. Also, they're a little closer. Now I just need to make sure that they're powered. So I actually think to the capacitor guys, we'll give you a priority of 6. Oh, 8. Okay. Priority of 8. There we go. Now we're not messing with all those other things. There There you go. Now disruptors are firing and doing what they're supposed to. And they're well protected. They're not on the ends. Well protected behind those heavy shields. And see how they take out that? I like that better, yeah. 2 disruptors on both sides. And it gives you the angles and the protection. And once he breaks through here, see the disruptors will take out these heavy shields. And it'll win. And we still have those shields. Now the power right back here. With the red team. Down, up. Just watching his walkways. Oh, I messed those up, didn't I? Redo those walkways. I moved it all. I moved it all down without changing the walkways. Okay, so if that one should be that way. If I moved it all down one. Okay, got it. And this should be... sort of like that. Now. Yep. I don't know what these are here for. Because they're only going to come in here for just this. So these are actually useless. Unless you have something back here. Let me get some empty space here. Alright, let's repair that. Resave version 2. Retest the changes we just made. Should fix those walkways like that. Empty space right here. I'm thinking instead, put a whole nother capacitor. Right? Put a whole nother capacitor. It fits. Put a door. There you go. Are those dedicated? They are. Just like that. That way those back ones will have double the capacitors. A little bit longer. The longer firing time because there's a lot less to go there. Yeah, I like it. Let's see, we'll go to version 3 because that capacitor might mess things up. So let's try this. Version 3, where is it? B203, there it is. See how long these guys fire. They come here and they should grab from that one. So then those still firing and they're waiting for it to get refueled. And then they get refueled. So these end ones will now have the ability. And then when this is not powered, then they can come here and grab from here. I'm purposely watching this one to see the capacitors if they keep, because these end ones were having a little bit of trouble. Now when you have two, they can still keep firing. Now this one's having a little bit of trouble, but that's fine. The battle's extending. Already lost that side, that's fine. Disruptors we lost from this side because it's doing heavy damage on this side. They got covered shield. Just one disruptor on the left and it's doing devastating amount of damage. Speed it up. Let's just see who wins. I'm pretty sure these extra 2 disruptors will cause it so I can push through. You see right here, it's pushing through. It won, but it took heavy damage. So, something to consider, think about. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. I know people that have been watching this. Let's jump ships and let's do something a little bit more for Twitch, because first time streaming on Twitch for Cosmoteer stuff. Let's come over here and let's just showcase these. Showcase these real quick. All right, I got my 2 cannon ship, the original design, built a long time ago. It's also got a nice head design right here. It kind of looks like a dragon head. Like a dragon head, you can see way better here. Dragon head design, you get your eyes, your ears, you even got your mouth and your teeth, and you even have a tail in the back right here. And the armor is designed specifically, you see how this armor is heavily designed in the back. And it's meant for being flanked and being taken out from the sides. Now the orange, this darker orange, or brighter orange, if you really want to see it, has more lasers on it, so it does more damage, but it also has more crew, so it's more expensive. So if you're playing gameplay and you have a lot of crew going on, losing crew can be very devastating. Now, one of the ships that I also designed in-game, you can see how these cannons, they do very, very well. I'm pretty sure my original 2 cannon doesn't face against the new 2 cannon that I built in-game during Cosmoteer Grand Random Engage. So, I'll showcase that here in a little bit. You can see right here, the laser ship right here is doing devastating damage. This other one. So it does very good. Does well. I like it. But cost-wise, if you come and look at them, very, very different in cost-wise. Now I know this one will eventually win. We're not going to go that far. You see here, 100 crew to 76 crew. Cost-wise for resource and everything, doesn't cost that much more, but the crew is what makes it expensive. When you're playing in-game, you're playing gameplay, crew is very devastating and very, very hard to regain. Now this ship right here kind of looks almost like a pumpkin design. We'll face against the 4 cannon ship, because I know the 4 cannon ship is going to win, but this 2 cannon ship almost always wins against the original. But you see right here, this extra armor right here makes it kind of look like a pumpkin, and eyes and, you know, whatever it is. And the main reason why I have it rounded like this is for catching ability. I usually fly with many ships, and my biggest problem, same thing with the dragon head, is if you add any pointy jagged edges that are not smooth, when a ship flies it to another ship, they catch another ship, which can be very devastating when you're playing with a no pause type of gameplay. Like, you're not pausing the game and organizing each ship to go here and there. Even if you do play with a pause type of gameplay, if your ships get caught on any of these rough edges, it can be very devastating for your entire battle if your ship's stuck together or grouped up together and not able to fight. And I'm going to showcase that from ship to ship battles about catching. I'll showcase that after this one. But you see right here, this extra armor added the protection for the shields just enough to give them a little bit more. And you can see right here, now there's almost like 2 cannons versus 2 cannons, so it's whoever has more armor. And you see right here, this one had more because it had 4 cannons. So a 4 cannon ship would win. But I do want to showcase multiple ships and how that works. So then we move up to my 6 cannon ship. And I have 2 different versions of my 6 cannon ship right here. We'll just play multiple versions of them so that you can see and understand how these actually work. So we do 3 versus 3. So we have my old version right here, which has less crew, 116. Cost less too. But this older version right here, we have point defenses, but we have no capacitors for these point defenses. So once it fights goes through and the initial burst is done, they don't have constant base of fire. Where here I added actual capacitors for the point defenses, for missiles and other things at higher levels, as well as adding dedicated crew, specifically assigned to those particular capacitors, and those capacitors are just supporting these particular point defenses. Now I changed it up because I saw how it was, instead of having these guys dedicated directly to point defenses, they're dedicated just to capacitor, and then their role right here is, even though they're dedicated to the capacitor, they're not actually doing anything for the capacitor, they're only supplying for the point defenses. So what they do there is if they're assigned to the capacitor, whatever the capacitor is assigned to do, which the capacitor is assigned to do this, then that's how they will supply it. Now the nice thing about doing it this way instead of doing it for the point defenses is if all the point defenses are gone, the capacitor is still there, they'll still support whatever the capacitors need to do, and then they'll do other jobs once the point defenses are gone. Compared to the assigning to the point defenses, and then they'll be like, oh, they don't know what to do next after. So I mean, they'll do back and forth. There's different ways to contribute with it. Now you see right here, fighting against each other, catching ability. Now you see they'll catch right here because they're facing versus each other, but you don't want them to catch when they're fighting versus each other. And the better way to see that is if we come over and we just leave one ship and face it versus each other. Now they have very good alpha strike because 6 cannons versus 6 cannons, so they do very, very good damage. Good amount of playthrough. But here, let me showcase this check. I'm wondering if I can actually do it with this one. Let's toss these ones out. Try to showcase it here on the right. So if they're all focused on one, they'll come here, and you'll see right here, they'll come up behind it. And if you had jagged edges here instead of these smooth edges, they'd catch. Same thing from the front. You don't want the catch. You see how they can smoothly go through? They can still catch here and there, but most of the jagged edges that I used to have from my first versions don't exist anymore. So let's go here and show you some of the I wonder if I still have any of my first versions in here. I have some of my first versions in here. So like if I were to take some of these ships right here, you see this right here? All these jagged edges causes it to catch. Catching. Even the back. All this right here cause it to catch. And after hours and hours, hundreds of hours, I don't know how many hours I've played this game, the catching ability causes it to have so many problems, so many issues. Now I'm going to go ahead and showcase my last version up from this, which is a bigger version, bigger crew. I think I showcased it in the beginning, but we'll showcase it against this right here. This ship right here, it just has a ton of missiles on the back to help support it. And the way that I have it designed is specifically have crew design placed out, and nobody's actually specifically set to it, but their roles are very heavily customized and built out, so that people are always sitting in the missiles. As soon as the missile's ready to go, they're launching on the missiles. Now it does do devastating damage against this one. Now this newer version, you see how the point defenses are constantly firing to help support itself when you're playing against gameplay. This ship will still lose just because this one has so much more firepower, but at least the point defenses do now fire throughout most of the duration of most battles. Now these front ones are going to end out. These back ones are a little bit better because they have a much more wider angle. You can cover more, plus there's 4 of them. It survives a lot longer than the normal one without the point defenses, but this one just has so much more devastating power and ability to shoot. Now if you're looking to actually play these particular these ships, you can go to my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel I have a Google Share on almost all of the videos now, where you can go in and look at my Google Share, download those ships, and once you have a ship, if you want to know how do I get these ships into the game from the Cosmoteer, all you gotta do is take the image, whatever an image it is, download the image, drag the image right into the game, drop it, and there you go. And it literally loads whatever it is from the images you save. It loads all the roles, loads the name, it loads the entire ship right into the game. So it's really easy to get the ships into the game, and then once you have it in there, you can just save it as whatever you want and play with it, change it, or do whatever you want to do with it. Anyways, that's what I'm going to just cover for Cosmoteer for today on Twitch. I need to do a little bit more family things, but I think I'll come back a little bit later today, and we will do some more Project Zomboid, move on to the next one, and go from there. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining me. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to smash the like button, leave me a comment, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and we will catch you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for being here, and have a good rest of your day.